Well, we're based in Canada, which had one of the harshest lockdowns in the world. The city of Toronto, I believe, had the title for the most locked down city in North America. Montreal was vying for second place. Of course, they actually had curfews. Whether you were sick or not, whether you were vaxxed or not, you were not allowed outside your home from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. And of course, our Australian reporter, Avi Yamini, was in ground zero of lockdowns down under in the city of Melbourne, which was especially punitive and even violent. I never thought that the United States, with its freedom culture, its constitution, its Bill of Rights, would follow the same path. And indeed, places like Florida showed the way, putting freedom ahead of fear. But what about this shocking case? A restaurant in the state of Virginia. They, of course, did not bend the knee to the COVID lockdowns in 2020 and 2021. And they got into a dust up with the law back then. But here it is, almost 2023. And the restaurant owned by Matt Strickland, a military veteran in the United States, was raided by police just this past week. And Matt Strickland, being a savvy man of the internet, filmed the whole encounter on his cell phone and posted it online. Here's an excerpt from the police raid on his restaurant. And I emphasize, this didn't happen a year or two ago. This happened days ago. Take a look.
Have actually been found to be detrimental to the community, but you're still going to shut a man's business down over that. You're not here to discuss whether or not they're unconstitutional. You're just here to do your job, right?
Court order was valid. Court order has been served. That court order says your license is suspended for 90 days.
And you're going to enforce that regardless, right? Yeah. So you're part of the problem, man. I want you to know that. You're part of the problem. 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 Everybody in here, every one of you, man. What's going on in this country right now? The reason that we're in the situation we're in as the United States of America, you're part of the problem, sir. So you can't complain about what the president's doing. You can't complain about the state that the country's in right now. You can't complain about how screwed up it is. You're part of the problem, sir. You're just doing your job. So many people were just doing their job for Hitler back in Germany. You as well, sir. That goes for you as well. That goes for you as well. That goes for all of you. That goes for all of you, man. There's no excuse. There's zero excuse. Just doing my job, that's not an excuse anymore, man. That's not an excuse. You guys just doing your job is facilitating what's going on in this country right now. You're shutting down a man's livelihood.
Well, the voice in that footage is that of Matt Strickland, the restaurant owner and veteran. He's actually taking his campaign for freedom to the ballot box. He's running for Virginia Senate. He joins us now via Skype from Virginia. Mr. Strickland, pleasure to meet you. Tell us what it was like being raided on the eve of 2023. I thought all this was long past. There were at least 4 police officers there. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. There were way more than 4 police officers. There were, I think, about 25 police officers there. I think they know how much support I have in the community since I've been fighting these COVID mandates since the beginning. And I do have a ton of support in the community because people with common sense, they feel like I feel. They're fed up with the government trying to take away our constitutional rights and our God-given rights. And so I think they felt that my supporters were going to show up and cause a scene. So that's why they brought so many police officers. I'm just guessing. I don't know. But they showed up in force. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's strange to me that armed police deal with health measures, or I think what they were doing in this case, correct me if I'm wrong, is they were trying to enforce a liquor license. They took away your liquor license because of this, and they were using that as a technicality. Did any of them threaten to arrest you, to jail you? I mean, I just find it an odd sight. Not in Australia or Canada, but we're not as free as you are. I find it a very odd sight in the United States to see armed police tackling the great criminal hotspot of a restaurant. It just feels un-American to me.
Well, it's very un-American. And that's why you have so many people who believe that there is
a higher power at play that goes outside of political parties, goes outside of country borders. People believe that there's this globalist power that is trying to take over, not just a certain country, but the entire world. And, it's hard to deny it when so many countries, including the United States of America, are implementing ridiculous mandates and just blatantly stripping their citizens' constitutional and God-given rights away right under their noses. But the most disappointing thing about it is how many citizens just blindly comply. I don't get it. I'll never get it. And yes, they did threaten to arrest me on multiple times that day. They've been threatening to arrest me for almost 3 years now. But what they have to understand is I don't give a damn about getting arrested. I'm not scared to go to prison. I joined the Army when I was 17 years old. I've been ready to die for this country since I was 17 years old. And I'll be ready to die for this country until I'm no longer on this earth. So going to prison does not scare me at all. What scares me is thinking about what might be the future of my country if I don't fight back right now, because I have 4 children. And what I'm not going to do is sit back and live a comfortable life, as comfortable as I can, and pass this fight on to them. I'm not doing that. I'm fighting right now to make sure I set them up for success in the future. And that's my whole goal in this.
That's an excerpt from my show every night. It's called The Ezra Levant Show. That's me, Ezra Levant. You can see the whole thing behind our paywall. Well, there's a lot of goodies behind there. I do a show every weeknight. My friends Sheila Gunn Reed and David Menzies and Nat and Kat have their shows too. You get a ton of content for just $8 a month. There's so much in there you won't find anywhere else. Go to rebelnewsplus.com.